Xilonen is going to shape up the game, but is it enough to dethrone Kazuha? Let's discuss what she brings to the table. Starting with her kit, Xilonen may not have a ton of different buffs, but what she does bring to the table is massive. Her skill at talent level 10 gives you entire team an aura that shreds the enemy's resistances by a whopping 36%. Yep, 36% red shred, guys. For context, the Viridescent Venerer set, the beloved go-to for anemo units, shreds 40%. That is what gives characters like Ninette a purpose. In Xilonen, she's got that power built right into her kit. And unlike Viridescent, you don't need to worry about missing stragglers in the back with a skill. It works just like Zhongli's red shred from his shield. You only need to be close to apply it. No need to bring Xilonen back to apply stuff. Viridescent also needs the wearer on the field to apply the debuff. This is not the case with Xilonen. But you think it's over here? No, not at all. Let's take a look at her artifact set, the Scroll of the Hero of Cinder City. The 4-piece effect of this set grants your team a 40% damage bonus for 2 elements that Xilonen reacts with: Geo, Hydro, Pyro, Electro and Cryo. So yeah, that covers the vast majority of the game's top tier teams. And Xilonen can give all of them Kazuha grade buffs. And speaking of Kazuha, Xilonen actually has some advantages over that guy, which I will go over in a second. And then we got her signature. That gives the entire team an additional 25.6% damage bonus. Alright, let's dig a little deeper, because here's one of my favorite things about her. Xilonen's buffs are not as reaction reliant as others. Unlike Kazuha, who needs to swirl an element to provide the resistance shred and bonus, Xilonen's skill rest shred just happens. No extra hoops to jump through. Sure, the Cinder set needs a reaction, but her skill doesn't. So on a team like Diluc and Furina, she is shredding rest for both Pyro and Hydro without needing to crystallize both elements. Effortless. Plus her buff doesn't rely on stats. None. Zero. You don't have to go wild min-maxing substats or worry about energy recharge requirements. Her buff is right there in her skills talent scaling, which means you can easily get enough ER to use a burst every rotation, unlike Kazuha, where you're always balancing ER with EM. Now let's talk Geo. Xilonen is finally raising the ceiling for one of Genshin's most underrated DPS characters, Navia. Why Navia specifically? Well, Navia is the only Geo DPS that can use Xilonen's kit within her current team archetype. Geo has been struggling for strong support options, but with Xilonen, Navia gets a teammate who's buffing her with Kazuha grade buffs. Thanks to Xilonen, Navia can finally go toe-to-toe with S-tier characters like Arlecchino. Xilonen brings Geo back, for real this time. Speaking of synergy, let's talk about Xilonen's chemistry with the best character in the game, Furina. Xilonen's burst can heal whenever 2 of your team members are Pyro, Hydro, Geo or Cryo. That's right, she's generating that fanfare. Sure, it's a single target heal, but because Xilonen's buffs last so long, it's super easy to get that heal in early, making sure almost everyone gets topped up. And you know what that means? She is now the best in slot healer for that juicy double Hydro core. And while we are on the topic of buff duration, that's another edge she has over Kazuha. Her skill lasts for 15 seconds and Cinder City lasts for 20. Most rotations in Genshin are about 20 seconds long, which means you can use Xilonen comfortably at the start of the rotation. Kazuha, on the other hand, wants to be near the end for optimal swirl timing. Xilonen's long buff time gives her a ton more flexibility, making it easier to fit into your team's rotation. But of course, even Xilonen is not perfect. Let's get into the cons. But honestly, these are nitpicks. Her skill and set can buff 5 out of the 7 elements: Geo, Cryo, Hydro, Pyro and Electro. Missing out on Dendro and Anemo can be a bit unfortunate, especially if you're looking to run Xiao, who is one of the strongest DPS characters right now. Her skill also requires a specific team comp to max out her Night Soul bar, so you need at least 2 characters being of the Hydro, Cryo, Pyro, Electro element. Some team comps like Mono Geo, Ito or Navia Plunge can't activate her buffs properly, but Hey, no character is perfect, right? I know for some people also grouping is very important, and they will hold that against Xilonen because of that. One huge aspect of grouping though is to make sure the debuff gets applied to all enemies, which with her is no problem as her debuff is an aura. In fact, Anemos have a disadvantage every time they don't hit everybody, as you need to bring them back to reapply the ability, which is annoying. Also, grouping matters more in Overworld or the lower chambers of the Spiral Abyss, but we all know how the higher floors rarely make us benefit from grouping at all, so there's that. All in all, Xilonen really brings some fresh wind, strong buffs, revives Gyu and gives Kazuha some run for his money. I'm definitely hyped to see how she shakes up the meta. Are you excited for Xilonen? Who are you pairing her with? Let me know in the comments below, and don't forget to hit that like and subscribe button. This has been Neo Star Impact, signing out.